Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Weapon Showcase. Today, we're going to be looking at the Sploosh Matic, and at the time of recording, this is the newest weapon that is available right now in the game. The Sploosh Matic, when you get this weapon, you get the Curling Bomb sub-weapon and the Splashdown special. You're going to find that I'm going to be comparing this weapon a lot with the Aerospray MG, because that's essentially what this weapon is. This weapon is more or less the contemporary to the Aerospray MG. If you're tired of using the Aerospray MG, then use this weapon. It's kind of like that. It's a very good weapon for covering terrain, and it makes it a top pick for turf matches. And I can assume that it's going to be even more popular as more and more people start using it. So, the main selling point to this weapon is the insane rate of fire. It's a very high rate of fire for covering grounds, and it makes up for its lack of range with this ability that it has. It's able to really keep pushing on ahead. They also gave you a cool detail where you have an ink tank on your back, so you're actually able to keep track of how much you have left before you have to dive down. So you just keep on pushing. It's great for people that want to solo, I guess, like solo players. They don't need to rely on their team too much for support. They just keep on pushing ahead, covering as much ground as possible. And if someone doesn't notice they're there, obviously they can burst them down. Speaking of, this weapon is a 3-shot weapon, so it's surprisingly powerful considering its high rate of fire. You can easily reach those three hits easily, and you're able to mow down people, kind of just be this unstoppable tank. All you have to do is just look at the back of your character to see how much ink you have left. Yeah, that's one of the main advantages to it. The curling bomb that it comes with also helps you to that end, since you can sort of like cover more grounds. You can have that cheeky end of match, like last second grenade throw that you can have as well. It's a really, really good weapon. The main downsides to this weapon, however, is the fact that the range is very poor for this weapon. Just like with the Aerospray MG, you have to get in close or be on a vantage point if you want to get any sort of distance with this weapon. That's kind of the main issue. Again, it's kind of softened up by the fact that it's a 3-shot weapon, but even then, you do have to get in close, and you have to make sure that you're always aware of whether or not your opponent notices you. If your opponent notices you, then they can easily pick you off if they have a longer ranged weapon. Not only that, the other issue with the range of this weapon is the fact that it has a splashdown ability, which is really, really cool in practice, because again, it sort of like helps with your it kind of does help. It's a bit of a mixed bag. It helps with the fact that if you get too close and you're suddenly out of ink somehow, then you can use that weapon. But for a weapon that already easily takes out people from close range, it does seem a little bit out of place in comparison to other weapons that could just as easily use it. But yeah, that's just nitpicking on my behalf. Anyways, this weapon, again, the main playstyle that you want to have here is to be constantly pushing, constantly covering as much ground. Thanks to the high rate of fire on this weapon, you can easily top the charts on your team, arguably more so than the Aerospray MG. I highly recommend that if you guys main the Aerospray MG, then you should definitely give this weapon a try. It fires a little bit differently, the hitboxes seem a little bit weird, because even if you have the reticle on your opponent, it might not necessarily hit directly, but it's definitely something worth considering, and has some strengths on it as well. You also get the freshness bonus if you're also looking to level up. So anyways, guys, that basically does it for today's weapon showcase. Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the Splatfest as much as I did for this past weekend. And as usual, see you later.